You're now tuned into the fourth season of Atypical Voices in Our Time, the official podcast of Chemistry Productions, a media education company. Let's get it started.
That's AVIOT.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your gracious host, Jay Stokes of the AVIOT podcast, the podcast where we talk about things happening in the media, news media, specifically pop culture, what have you. And we also contribute to media stories by adding our voice to the mix.
Yes, sir.
So we'll get into the first story of today, just getting things out the way. Lil Jon. I don't know if you know about Lil Jon. He's a rapper known for that song, Turn Down for What? I know he was part of a group, Lil Jon and the East Side Boys back in the day. I used to love listening to the album Crunk Juice.
Oh, yeah.
Lovers and Friends. They had a song called Real End Road called. That was my joint with Ice Cube on it. Anyways, he recently made news because on September 1st, he made his debut at the Muscle Beach Championship in Venice Beach, Los Angeles, where he won third place in the men's physique masters over 45 category. Lil Jon is 53 years old, and he felt that it was time to have his life change in a new direction. I know that he has meditation tapes out. He's been showing people his workout routine. He's been really trying to be inspirational regarding the matter of health and wellness. And I'm really proud of him because if you look at hip hop in general, different rappers throughout some time now, probably a few years actually, we've had a string of deaths due to health-related complications. We had DMX. Now I know he was dealing with substance use, but also that is a part of health and wellness, not really taking care of your body, not really focusing on your mind and really taking in substances that can be helpful towards you. Instead, these substances were harmful. What do I mean by things that are helpful towards you? Maybe I shouldn't say substances. I should say fruits or vegetables, vitamins, minerals, water intake. Water intake is very important. We also had Irv Gotti. He passed away. I think he had a stroke. Fat Man Scoop, Biz Markie, all health-related complications that could have been preventable with lifestyle changes. So I'm very happy that Lil Jon is leading the way in being different. And I love to see rappers, hip-hop artists live and grow, mature, do better in life. You look at Pusha T and Malice with their new Clips album. I understand the subject matter wasn't the greatest on Let God Sort Them Out. I understand a lot of the subject matter wasn't the greatest. However, in the album, it did show maturity. Pusha T is married with a child. Malice is married. I think he's a grandfather now. So we do see positivity in the hip hop community. J. Cole, I think he's married. He has children. Kendrick Lamar, he's in a long-term relationship, has children. So we want to see people evolve. We want to see progress. We don't want for people to go backwards in life. Speaking of which, I got to go back to Young Thug. So on the last podcast episode, I was speaking about Young Thug and his whole issue with the ratting situation, snitching. He was incarcerated, I think, from 2022 to 2024 on RICO charges in Georgia. And during this period of time, there was a lot of stories that were coming out in terms of who he could trust, who he could not trust. In the last podcast episode, I talked about him feeling a type of way about snitches, and then leaked audio came out showing that he was allegedly snitching himself. So I thought that was really that was very interesting. But another leaked audio clip of him came out recently, and it was showing or the audio clip was depicting his thoughts toward Kendrick Lamar.
The only other person that gets a Kendrick versus Keith is Baby King, and that's like his cousin or his nephew or something.
Right. Getting all the damn verses to this nigga, man. What the hell you doing, crazy? All that fake, I ain't getting no rapper songs. Shit, I don't be liking them type nigga like that.
Why?
You nigga get too big, I don't want to do no feature. Why? Why you don't want to do no feature? Why wouldn't you want to do a feature for a superstar? Like, you ain't like goddamn Street calling you for a song, you know? Like,
yeah.
You really got Lil Durk calling you for a song, Lil Baby, Thug, real superstar calling you for a song. Why wouldn't you do the song? We lit, nigga. We going number 1 too. Fuck is you thinking? You know, it's just like, I don't be understanding that type of shit. Supposed to be a nigga who bless a nigga. That's why them niggas will never be bigger than Drake, ever in life.
While he was incarcerated, I believe he wanted Kendrick Lamar to feature on his album, the 2023 album, Business is Business. From what I hear, the album didn't do that great. I don't listen to Young Thug, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, well.
But he wanted Kendrick Lamar to feature on this project, and Kendrick Lamar essentially snubbed him. He didn't want to feature on this. And so Young Thug goes on a rant saying that that's why you're not going to be as big as Aubrey Drake Graham, aka Drake, because you don't give to people. You aren't generous with your features. You're very stingy with who you want to work with. My thing is this: Young Thug, you were in jail facing RICO charges. That is a big deal. People with the right state of mind don't want to get involved in that.
No.
Kendrick is very, from what I've seen, he's very methodical. He takes his time with who he wants to work with. He's not just going to work with anyone. I mean, we've seen recently on his album GNX, he worked with an artist, Dodie Six. Dodie Six ends up being on drugs, and he ends up saying crazy things about Kendrick after the fact. So Kendrick, even when he tries to be very meticulous and very specific with who he's choosing, still that might blow back in his face. He has worked with other artists. I know Young Thug was saying that Kendrick is very stingy with his collaborations. He doesn't work to artists. He doesn't bless people. But Kendrick he's worked with Rhapsody. I love Rhapsody's artistry. Rhapsody is a female rapper. Y'all should definitely check her out. She's really good. Very, very dope lyricist, very good artist. He also worked with Baby Keem. That's his cousin. So there's familial ties there. He's worked with other artists on this GNX project. He's worked with artists in the California, LA community, and he really put them on. I know AZ Chike, he really capitalized off of his feature on the GNX album. So there is that. If you're listening to the AVIOT podcast on a streaming service, make sure to leave a rating and a review so we can grow our platform. Young Thug, in that audio clip that surfaced, he came off as very entitled. And I didn't like that because it's like, Young Thug, who are you to request this of Kendrick Lamar? You're not, yes, you're popular in your own circles. However, you are not the end all be all. Kendrick Lamar will be fine without you. And maybe he doesn't want the status of a Aubrey. He doesn't want that status. And the thing is, with Aubrey working with so many people, that's come with a lot of controversy. You see, right now, he's in a battle with Universal Music Group. You see, right now, he feels like he can't trust anybody. He has stretched himself too thin. He has worked with so many different artists, and that's cool in a sense. But also, you look at them, they're in different lanes. Aubrey is a pop star, whereas Kendrick is a rapper. You can kind of put him maybe in the pop category because of certain songs he's done, and the fact that he has global appeal right now, especially with Not Like Us, with this recent rap beat that he had with Aubrey. However, Kendrick, he's good in his lane. His GNX tour with SZA is doing great. I went to one of the performances myself. Excellent performance. I think he's fine. And he's going to have a longer lasting legacy than you, Young Thug. You're not all that. Not at all.
Nope.
So that's the end of that story. Speaking of entitlement, speaking of speaking a type of way in which people are not very happy with what you're saying, that was a weird transition. I was trying to figure out how to transition to this next topic. I guess any of you who are listening out there, you probably could find a better way to transition, but I wanted to talk about Tabitha Brown. So Tabitha Brown has rubbed people the wrong way about concerning comments that she made on TikTok regarding people who are trying to pursue their dreams and become entrepreneurs.
That this is not to discourage you, because I want us to be clear about that first, okay? You gotta been in this place for a long time, okay? Now listen, you got good ideas. Baby, you got good ideas. Your execution is not as good, okay? Your follow through, not as good. The ideas though are great. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody. And that doesn't mean it's not for you, but right now, these last few months, few years, you know what I'm talking about. Baby, it ain't been working for you, okay? And you're doing a lot of robbing Peter to pay Paul. Okay, you done got yourself in some mess, and it's time for you to get a job. You hear me? You just gonna need to get a job for a little while. Okay, it don't mean your ideas ain't good. Okay, don't mean that maybe one day you could be a good entrepreneur, but you have proven to yourself and everybody else that you owe money to, okay, that it ain't working right now. Okay, it ain't worked for a while. It actually has never worked yet. Doesn't mean it won't ever work. But right now, you need to go to work. You're gonna need to get a job, okay? And then keep working towards it. But at least you'll have a job while you are pursuing that thing.
For those of you who don't know, Tabitha Brown is an actress, Emmy Award-winning host, entrepreneur, chef, and author. And in this Yahoo snippet I'm looking at right here, it says that she's affectionately known as America's mom. Okay, didn't know that till now. Basically, in the TikTok video that she made, which is rubbing people the wrong way, she was saying that not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur. That is true. She was also saying that instead of borrowing money from people and just wasting your time and always trying to build, even if you're talented, you might not have the skills that are needed at the moment or that are helpful at the moment in order to really boost your entrepreneurial career. And so it's best to just have a regular 9-to-5 job. Get a job, and maybe you can use that in order to finance your entrepreneurial ventures. Cool, right? I thought that the way Tabitha said this, it was kind of, I'm up here, you're down there, the way she delivered it. She's like, now, baby, listen here. You may not be that good at this. And it just, I can understand how it rubs people the wrong way, because to me, I looked at it as, Tabitha, who are you to be speaking to people this way, especially considering how she popped off, how she became famous herself. So I was reading up on her background, and it turns out that in December of 2017, she was making ends meet working as an Uber driver, and she recorded a heartfelt review of a Whole Foods vegan BLT sandwich. So this went viral, and a brand ambassador, and this led to a brand ambassador role with Whole Foods. So she really lucked out in this department. Not everyone has that big break. And the thing is, people can be more talented than Tabitha. They can have more credentials, they can have more abilities. They just don't have someone to see them, recognize them, or invest in them. And that's why they don't end up truly being able to pursue their entrepreneurial venture. What I'm saying is, I feel Tabitha should be a little bit more humble with how she's delivering these messages, because you yourself, though after you had the opportunity, you capitalized off of it. There is another universe where you don't get seen, you don't get recognized, and you're still an Uber driver and you're still grinding. So I'm just saying, yeah, I see how you're trying to lead with love, but the delivery, I can see how it rubs people the wrong way. Just be more humble, because you could have been in the same position as the people that you're talking about now.
That's correct.
So that's my 2 cents with that. Speaking of Black women rubbing people the wrong way, R&B singer Kelly Price has recently been in the news for comments that she made on social media. So she is a plus-sized or a heavy-set Black woman, and she was really annoyed by comments that she was seeing on social media, particularly by Black women commenting on her weight.
God gave me my voice. And yes, I'm letting you have it right now, because ain't nothing you can do about that. And while you looking for a new job, I'm still going to be selling out theaters and venues, looking like a fat slob in clothes that you said that I look nasty in, and my feet are so damn big, and who dressed me. I'm still going to be making my money. I don't even do this, but I'm so sick of Black people and their bullshit. I'm saying what I want to say. If you got a problem with what I'm saying, and you know, Lord, pray for me, because I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Okay? I'm not there yet. Black women, you are some of the most nasty, disrespectful people on God's planet Earth. The things that you say about other Black women, but you're an activist, and you are educated, and you are this, and you are that, and you are the other. Find yourself, because a degree does not give you class. Find yourself, because a degree ain't gonna get your stupid ass into heaven.
So she went on a rant on social media saying Black women are some of the most disrespectful people. They don't support you. And people are upset by that because she's generalizing Black women. I'm not a fan of generalizations when it comes to black people specifically, because I do generalize, in some circumstances, but I'm trying to be picky. I'm trying to be better about my generalizations. I'm working. I'm a work in progress. I'm not perfect. Okay. However, I try not to generalize when it comes to black people, in a negative sense, I should say, because a lot of these generalizations get used in order to put black people down even further, or in order to discriminate against black folk. Point blank, period. However, we have to be fair. Kelly Price is speaking on her own anecdotal experience, right? I know a lot of you out there who will speak on your dating experience with black men, and you'll say black men are trash, or you'll look at these alpha male podcasts with these black men on here, and you'll say that there's no black men worth dating. They're the bottom of the barrel. Black people are the white people of black people, right? You're basing that on your own anecdotal experience, and you're generalizing there. So you can't be mad at Kelly for generalizing about black women in her life, in her view, based off of her experiences, if you're doing the same thing with black men or with other groups that shouldn't be generalized. I'm just saying. I'm not necessarily defending her. However, I understand her frustration, especially people can get to you. I understand social media is not a real place. And you have all these keyboard warriors, these keyboard thugs that want to say whatever they want to say. But then if you find them and you call them out, then they chicken out. Still, some people are very much affected by the comments on social media. And some people, they just want an environment that is healthy, that is happy, that is carefree. They don't want people, especially if Kelly is insecure about her weight. I can understand how hearing people or seeing people talk about her weight all the time, especially under her comments, can make her feel a type of way. So I do empathize with her. However, I'm not with the generalizations that negatively look at black individuals. So there's that. Anyways, let's get into updates. So for my updates, I was saying that I have an article that I'm working on speaking on black criminality, this whole black on black crime narrative, which is actually a myth.
Yes.
And that's supposed to come out tomorrow. It is still slated to come out tomorrow. I'm making some finishing edits. I'm fine-tuning it a bit. The article is pretty much done. I just have to flesh out the conclusion a little bit more, and then I have to add some links here and there. But the article is pretty much done. Very proud of myself. I want to say, though, when it comes to writing, I need to find a process in order to write a lot faster. Because I read a collection of articles, I come up with a topic, and then I flesh out an entire paper. With that being said, it shouldn't take me a week to finish an entire paper. I should be faster.
That's correct.
I'm trying to make sure that whatever I'm putting out there, it is fact-based, or at least if I have an opinion, I can try and argue my case in a way that makes sense. And the whole purpose of this, me writing, again, is to educate. I said that Chemistry Productions, which the AVIOT podcast is the official podcast for, is all about media education. It's all about helping you understand different media narratives, understand how to pick apart what you're seeing, what you're listening to, what you're consuming, and actually look at things through a critical eye. So I really want to get back to this whole educational portion of Chemistry Productions outside of just having my opinion on things, having my opinion on matters, even if my opinions, some of them are based in fact. There's that. I also said that I wanted to get back into making long form videos and then snip those up and promote different snippets of the long form videos on social media, having the long form videos maybe put on YouTube, other platforms, because I want to get back into the education piece. I think that's very important.
No.
So there's that. However, I like the way I'm moving. Make sure to support Chemistry Productions, support the AVIOT podcast. Make sure to share this podcast. Leave comments, leave reviews. Let me know what I could be doing better as a host, what kind of guests you would like to see on here. I know that guests are definitely not my strong suit right now. I have to reach out to different outlets to see who would actually want to be on the podcast. I've had Travis Washington, a friend of the show, on in the past. I have my other friend, Alan, who's expressed interest in coming back. But I want to speak to community organizers. I want to speak to local artists. I want to speak to just a myriad of different people. So that's what it is. Let's get into the topic of the day. Speaking of facts, I have some facts for you right now. Florida plans to end all state vaccine mandates, including in schools.
Wow.
Wow. So pretty much they're saying they're going to make it so that you're not mandated to get certain vaccines when you have to apply for a job or when you are a child trying to get into the school system or a parent trying to get their child into the school system. This is not good. This is not good at all. I was looking at the Surgeon General for Florida, Joseph Ladapo. I was saying his name wrong before, but I'm glad I got it right this time. I think it's right. That's the way I've seen it pronounced online or heard it pronounced online. So Joseph Ladapo, he was saying that his agency would roll back mandates for a half dozen or so vaccines under its authority, but will need to work with the Republican-dominated Florida legislature on a broader package of reforms. He did not specify which vaccine mandates his agency would do away with. However, I'm pretty sure they want to do away with all vaccines, which is not good. Ladapo. I don't know what. Yeah, I was saying Ladapo in another video that I put on social media, and that was wrong, so I had to go back and correct it. Ladapo is quoted as saying when he announced that these mandates would be rolled back, every last one of them is wrong and drips with disdain and slavery.
And now for a quick commercial break.
Hey guys, as you can hear, we are unapologetic in our opinions. We may be politically incorrect or possibly wrong, but don't knock us for being ourselves and saying what many are too afraid to admit out loud. Anyways, if you have any thoughts or questions about our show, email us at chemistryproductions@gmail.com. That's K3MISTRY productions@gmail.com. We'll be sure to address whatever you have to say.
I have a huge issue with that because Dr. Joseph Ladapo is of Nigerian descent. I don't know if his family, if they're immigrants or if he's an immigrant himself, first gen. I don't know. However, I am tired, and I need to say this to all my fellow members of the African diaspora, my family out there, no matter what your culture is, Haitian, Jamaican, Nigerian, Ghanaian, South African, Brazilian, Afro-Latino, all the above, Black Brit. I need to say this to you. When you are speaking on certain issues regarding Black Americans or regarding Black people in America, especially using the term slavery, I need you to do your research first so that you are adequately informed before saying this. No, vaccines are not comparable. Having a vaccine mandate is not comparable to American slavery.
No.
Not at all. Okay, I need y'all to do y'all research when it comes to events that have affected Black Americans, when it comes to how Black Americans even act. Because a lot of Black immigrants will come over here, immigrants in general, but I'm speaking to the African diaspora right now. They'll come over to America and they'll have negative opinions about Black Americans saying, oh, y'all are so lazy. Oh, maybe if you worked harder. Oh, y'all are thugs. Oh, y'all are whores. Y'all sleep around with everybody. Listen, every community has their problems, okay? I have seen absentee African fathers. I have seen African individuals who sleep around. I've seen African thugs. So it's not just Black Americans, okay? I need y'all to educate yourselves. When y'all come over here, before y'all come over here, educate your children. If you are the child of immigrants and your parents are not educated, educate yourself. Because no, vaccines are not comparable to slavery.
Nope.
Okay? Point blank, period. Let's cut that out. Dr. Joseph Ladapo also said, who am I as a government or anyone else? Who am I as a man standing here now to tell you what to do with your body? I have another issue with that. Because Florida is the same place that is trying to do away with abortions, with the termination of pregnancies. They don't like that. They don't like that at all. I think there's in some places, if the health of the mother is in danger, then they're okay with terminating a pregnancy. However, y'all are saying you can't tell people what to do with their bodies in terms of vaccine. That same sentiment should apply to people who want to terminate pregnancies. If someone gets pregnant and they want to terminate their pregnancy, I don't care how you feel about life beginning at conception and whatnot. That is their body. That is their choice. If you feel God don't like that, then God got to take it up with that person. That ain't for you to play the role of God and then try to force this person to do something they don't want to do. That is not on you. Understand that. Going back to this whole vaccine mandate, people got to understand. Let's forget the autism element because that's going to be a whole nother topic that we got to flesh out and all that. People get vaccinated not only for their health, but for the health of others. There are certain individuals who cannot receive vaccines for certain diseases, certain illnesses, because they're immunocompromised. It's going to mess with their system. Back in 2000, measles was declared eradicated in the US. Now people want to go back and not vaccinate their kids, and now measles is back. You got outbreaks of measles in the country. I think in Texas you had an outbreak, Florida. It's ridiculous. So when you choose not to get your kids vaccinated, you're also impacting those who are immunocompromised. You're also impacting those who are already vaccinated. Did you know, I actually looked this up today, did you know that if you get vaccinated for measles, you can still get measles again?
Oh, no.
If you come in contact with someone who is infected with measles? So you're also putting people who are already vaccinated at risk. Not to mention, you're endangering the lives of children. They might not live to become an adult because they have all the side effects of measles, chickenpox, polio, tetanus, because you don't want to get these kids vaccinated. It's ridiculous. And then Florida, of all places. Florida is a huge destination where people go for vacation. So you got people that are going to be coming into the state, coming to Disney World, coming to Universal Studios, whatever, Busch Gardens, all these other places in Florida. They're going to come into contact with people who are not vaccinated, and they might end up getting sick. And then they're going to go back to their respective state, city, and infect other people over there. Come on. What is going on? All I'm going to say is, if you're traveling to Florida, you better wear a hazmat suit. If you live in Florida, you might have to homeschool your kids. I know I'm being facetious, but seriously, it is a lot of the fear mongering, a lot of the opinions that are not based in fact or science is really messing us up right now. It's up to the scientists, those of us who read, those of us who really care about public health, to step up. And we're going to have to be the ones that educate others. We're going to have to be the ones that hold town halls and have lessons for people who are so easily swayed by misinformation and disinformation. That's that. All right, y'all. It's been a good episode. Thank you for tuning in. And I will see y'all actually on Sunday. If you watch AVIOT Sunday Brew, then you will see me on Sunday speaking live from the Chemistry Productions YouTube channel. Make sure to support us. Make sure to share this podcast. Make sure to leave comments, give me advice, give me topics to talk about in the future. I'm open to almost anything. So, see you next time. Deuces.
So go a little something like this. That's AVIOT.